So anyways, that's probably gonna be the clearest day of the week, so that's great. It's gonna be like cloudy and rainy this entire week, so gotta get out here. It's pretty chilly actually. Probably should have wore more than what I got on. I just got like pants and a like flannel basically on. But yeah, so today we are actually, I got my notes here. Today we're going to be talking about oh yeah, most people don't want the truth. They want some kind of illusion or to live in delusion. They want to live in comfort. This probably goes back to, I actually could make a topic on this, but I guess we can talk about it. People want to live in comfort. That's why a lot of people are like lazy, right? Don't do much, but typically most animals live like that. If you actually look at, like, so for example, another thing that I've noticed is like my dog, right? My dog at my house, he doesn't really do much. He kind of lays around all day. It's probably because his food isn't the best for him, but also because most animals in general are pretty sedentary, right? So the more stress you have in your life, the shorter your lifespan will be. And typically doing a lot of things is going to shorten your lifespan. So like working a lot, traveling a lot, going out and doing stuff all the time, being super busy, then you get stressed out, right? Because you have too much going on. That's typically going to shorten your lifespan. But if you look at animals in nature, a lot of them are not very busy typically. They're just living, breeding, finding food, hanging out with the homies. You know, when you have like birds on the like telephone wires or electric wires or whatever, right? So yeah, so I think that's the reason why a lot of people, even, you can take this not just with like a physical comfort, but also like mentally comfortable, like less stressful and things like this. Your comfort level on, like, even with thinking, for example, which I think is a reason why a lot of people go towards like the mainstream way of thinking, or mainstream, like, you know, your culture, your religion that you grow up in a particular country, right? So it's difficult to kind of break out of that and go against it. So I think typically that's another reason why people gravitate more towards comfort when it comes to just like not really wanting to know the truth. I mean, everything around you, the news, the media, everything they see on TV, social media, it's all basically propagating a certain viewpoint of the world and like reality, right? So and pretty much all of it's a lie. It's all typically backwards. So for example, most, I guess I could just use a quick example, is like most countries and places and all that, like the very basic way of thinking is like having a some kind of religion or like morals, right? So like morals, for example, is something that's only in your head, right? Like you can't, it's not a physical thing, right? It's an idea. So it doesn't exist because of that. It's something that humans have come up with to, like in particular with religions, to enslave the people of their country that, or their, well, that's another thing too, is countries don't exist, right? Like it's an imaginary line that you draw on like a map or something like that. Like there's no actual like boundary. Like even if you put up a wall, like that's not like, that's just like a man-made thing. It's not like an actual thing that exists. So it's an idea, right? Like United States of America is an idea. So yeah, I think we're pretty much surrounded by these delusions like ever since we grow up, and they like end up just making us comfortable because it's like something that we're constantly taught about our entire life, right? So another thing too is because people are indoctrinated by this illusion, basically, when there is someone who at some points ends up breaking away from that illusion or delusion, like not being delusional, not getting tricked and brainwashed, right? Like when there's actually someone who kind of like starts breaking out of that, they you get a lot of backlash. Like for me, for example, I've been telling people that I know, like, oh yeah, this food that we eat all the time, it's making my stomach irritable and all that. But then when I eat meat and just like fruits, I have like zero digestion issues. I rarely, you know, I rarely have burps and stuff like that, but when you keep telling people these things and then you eat something that probably you know you shouldn't, but then you do, and they're like, well, you ate that last time, and it's like, well, yeah, but last time it upset my stomach still though. And it's just like, people can't really understand like certain things unless they do it themselves too, which I guess could be like another separate topic. But I think sometimes when you do that and you have that happen, and people who don't know like so much of the truth and like what's going on around them, like they don't really see it, like they kind of just end up thinking that you're like some kind of conspiracy theorist, or they end up thinking that you're just like lying about things basically. So that's another thing that's like pretty unfortunate. I don't know if people do it subconsciously, or maybe they just don't have the critical thinking skills or capabilities to break out of that. But yeah, you end up getting to a point where basically you're seeing like it's like discouraged to think differently, right? So yeah, and I think whether people do it consciously or subconsciously, they want to be lied to basically, which, I mean, there's plenty of lies around us all the time. Like I said, the news, oh look, there's a fighter jet. I don't know if you can see it right there. I just went behind the trees. Oh, looks like a one of those anti-radar fighter jets or something like that. But anyways, it's pretty much what I want to talk about today. Kind of a quick one, I know. I'm gonna keep my next video shorter too, because it's pretty cold out here. So like I said, this is going to be like the best the sky is gonna look. I saw the sun earlier. I was like, oh, it's gonna be a nice day at like 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning, and then like quickly all the clouds came in, so it's gonna be like just tons of rain and stuff, you know, coming up here. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna get to the next video now, and peace out till next time. Peace.